boyfriend. Is your boyfriend. Yeah, I think we're done. Yeah. Yeah. So, hey guys, I'm here with another mommy. Her name is Marielly, and she has 3 babies. We know each other because our daughters go to the same school.
Yeah.
And
they're so cute.
Yes, they are. They are adorable. And yeah, so let us know. Tell us about yourself.
About my crazy self. So I do have 3 kids. I am 31, and this was the first year that I legit forgot my age. Like, I did not know growing up, like, how would that happen? Like, how do you forget your age? Like, mom, like, how old are you again? Like, it's not that hard to keep track. And I really, really, really thought I was turning 30 again. I don't know. I'm 31, so that's...
So who told you?
My husband. He, like, put me out there. He's like, babe, you are 31. And I was like, what? I don't remember turning 30. So that happened. But I blame it on my kids. And so I have 3 kids under 4, which is definitely like, it's mind-boggling.
Oh my gosh.
But you're on the same boat though, right?
Yeah.
4,
yeah.
and you got 2, and then the 9-month-old. So your baby.
Well, no, she's 11 months
11
now.
months. Yeah, but still, that's like you had the 2 middle ones so close together. Like my 2.5-year-old is almost 3, and my baby's 5 months.
But did you guys plan it that way?
No, girl, we were done at 2 though.
This is
2
my
was
story.
it.
This is my
2 was
story.
it. And people, when you have 2, and then you're like, no, I'm done. No, if you're done, you gotta go to the doctor and get things permanently done. Because then God will show up and be like, ha ha ha, there goes number 3.
That's exactly what he did. He was like, oh, you have plans for 2? No, let's sprinkle a little extra goodness in your life.
Yeah, no, that was a struggle. We were talking about how we married our best friends.
Yes. So tell me about
how we met.
Yes.
So we met, my husband and I met at church. We both, he fell in love with God when he was like 15. He was the only person in his life, in his family, to do that. And so he got really involved with church and like with the youth and all that. And then I came to Christ when I was 18. That's where we met. And it was really funny because it was like a group of 12 of us. There was 6 guys and 6 girls, and we were like paired up to like have group and lead other youth and stuff like that. So we were young. That's all we did. Like, we lived and breathed ministry, and it was super fun. Like, I loved that time in my life. It was hilarious because all of us said we would never marry each other. We were like, ugh. Like, Martin, oh my God, never. I could never ever date him. And then 4 out of the 6 of us are married to each other.
Really?
Yeah, including my brother and my best friend. So it was really cool.
Oh, that's so cool.
So like now, like those are my kids. We all had kids at the same. We all got together at the same time. We got married around the same year. We all had kids at the same time.
Oh,
so now we're all like, we have like extended cousins and uncles and the whole thing. So it's really cool.
Oh, that's nice.
Really cool. Yeah.
That's dope.
Good support system.
Yeah, for sure.
Plenty of babysitters in South Florida. Because you know we need those.
Yeah, right? So what year did the first baby come?
Maddie, my first, is 4. She was born 2015. So I was actually pregnant when I was doing my last class for my bachelor's. Because it took me forever and a half to do school. Because I wasn't decided on what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it was awesome because she was a baby. She must have been a few months old. January, February, March, April, May. So she was 4 months old for my graduation.
You know what's so funny? When I graduated from nursing school, I found out I was pregnant with Liana.
No.
And then I took my NCLEX when I was 8 months pregnant, and I passed. I really felt like we were studying together. And she just like gave me. She shot me the information.
You're like, can you take notes for me and shoot them up during my quiz? Thank you very much, Liana. That's why she's so responsible. She's smart. Oh my God, the things moms do.
I know, right? Okay, so how was that for you? Like, new mom, new responsibilities, because it's a.
I felt like I was a teenage mom.
Mm.
Like, not in a bad way.
No,
like,
no.
I was always a girl. Like, I never played with Barbies when I was little. I was like born to be a mom. I love babies. I was like, my aunt, my baby cousins, they're like grown men and women now. But I have 2 cousins that are close to me, and we're 10 years apart. Like, I was 10, literally bathing and feeding a newborn.
Yeah.
So motherhood came natural to me. Like, I wasn't scared to change it. Like, what I needed to do, what I needed to buy. Like, I knew all of that. Like, I had all the practice in the world for it. I was ready. But I was not ready for just the life change surprised me, like, in a good way.
Yeah.
Like, the minute she was born, I was like, that's it. My life is so different. Like, it's not for me anymore.
It's not.
And you always hear your mom tell you stuff like that, like, the day you become a mom, you were gonna remember this day. You will remember this day when you become a mom. We will talk when you become a mom. And then you're like rolling your eyes like, oh, okay, Mom.
Yeah, right.
And then I gave birth and I was like, Mommy, I love you. You were so right. No, actually, it wasn't the day I gave birth. It was like 2 weeks into having a baby and like not showering. That's what it was with my first kid. I was like, I don't know when to shower. Like, when do I shower? Oh my God, I smell. I don't know. Did I shower today?
Do I sleep when they sleep? Like, what's going on?
I need to eat. But I don't know. I really want to sleep though. Could somebody just like it was hard. Like, I think all I wanted to do, I was like in a coma. I just like would wake up, feed her, like, you know, then everything's bleeding. Everything is bleeding. Everything hurts. You want to shower, you don't want to shower, you want to eat. The child is crying. You're like, oh my God, shut up for a second. And then your husband comes home from work and he doesn't understand everything that's happening. And then, you know, you're expecting him to be your savior. You're like, oh, you're here. You're going to save me so I can sleep. Homeboy can't change a diaper. And you're like, you're useless, you know? So that was like, for us, it was like that. My husband wasn't like a guy that like was really kid friendly.
Yeah.
So he's an amazing dad. And now, like, he's super involved. And like, he was like in it to win it from the beginning, but oh my God, homeboy needed training and I did not have the mental capacity to do it. So that was a struggle.
So would you say that you did you deal with any like baby blues or postpartum?
No. So I was like really, really blessed to not, I've had some of my close friends like have to go through it. I didn't go through it with my 3 pregnancies, but I think what did it for me is that, like, I'm a very people person. Like, I'm very outgoing. Like, I need to be out of my house. So what I didn't do with my first kid that, like, I've seen some of my close friends do maybe, like, with their first kid is be like, I need to be home for 40 days. Like, that's a Spanish thing. Like, Spanish moms, like, you can't go out. Like, you can't see the light of day. You can't take your baby anywhere. You got to stay home. Don't move. Stay in your bed. Like, I'm not. That would drive me insane. Like, that would probably be like, oh my God, I don't know. I'm not myself anymore. So what really, like, helped me is, like, I remember Maddie was 2 weeks old. Or a week and a half old. It was really, really new. Because I was still sore. And I was like, I need to get out of the house. And my husband was like, babe, like, you just, like, what do you mean? Where do you want to go? I was like, can we just go to a restaurant? I just want to go eat something. And I really wanted, like, these cupcakes called Misha's Cupcakes. Have you ever had them?
I've heard of them.
Oh my God, melt in your mouth. They're so worth the drive.
Where is it at?
It's in Pembroke Gardens. The one that I know.
Okay.
It's in Pembroke Gardens.
Okay.
So he's like, all right, let's go. Girl, I showered that day. I blow dried my hair, you know, half done. And I got dressed. I was like, okay, I'm sort of fitting into clothes a little bit, you know. And then I was so excited to use my stroller. And like, I'm taking my baby out and pack my diaper bag. And you're so extra with your first kid. Like, you need everything to leave the house. But it was so nice. And then we get in the car and it starts pouring. Pouring. And Pembroke Gardens is like an open thing. I almost cried and like postpartum right there. And I was like, I don't know why this is happening, but I really need it. And my husband's like, babe, we're going to have to go home. I'm like, no, please, let's just go. Please, it's Florida. It's going to stop. So when we get to Pembroke Gardens, it's sort of died down, like it was sprinkling. And I was like, just put a cover on her. Just cover the car seat and just put a little blanket. We'll just go right to the restaurant. And that's what we did. And people thought we were crazy. But it from that, like after that day, I learned about myself that I needed that.
Yeah.
So I don't let people touch my babies, you know, like I'm not about that life, but I'm all about like, babe, let's go out.
Yeah.
So once the baby's born, like after like a few days, but with the third kid, the day after I gave birth, we were already at Steak and Shake.
Listen, I think that was like the same thing with us. Like we were already out, like, and my husband and like I'm just like that. Like I need to get out of the four walls because they'll start talking, and it's like we got to go. Like pack it up, let's go. Yeah. You know, and then like I have people like, how you take three kids out? Easy. Pack them up.
Light
let's go.
Show them where the line is. Don't you cross it because then it's gonna get real. Yeah. And then you're good to go.
Of course, you can't. It's impossible.
It is.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So, second baby.
Second baby was planned. We realized we were kind of like at a fork in the road. Either I go back to work. Oh, because we ended up moving to North Carolina, so we left Florida. And for the first time, I was a stay-at-home mom. So, side note, when I lived in Florida and she was born, I had 3 months, and then it was really hard to leave her. And my mom quit her job to take care of her.
Oh, wow.
So then it was amazing because I didn't even feel bad about leaving my daughter because she was my mom.
Exactly.
So that was great. But then after she turned 1, we moved up to North Carolina, and now I wouldn't have anyone to watch her. Yeah. So I had to stay home from work, and I was a stay-at-home mom, and I was pumped for it until I realized how much you really die to yourself as a stay-at-home mom. Like that was hard for me. Like it was really frustrating to realize I really, like I don't get dressed. Like you go from PJs to PJs because like what are leggings and t-shirts? Like that's what I sleep in, you know? So like how do you like spruce it up? Yeah. You know, like do my hair, like mom bun, you know? I gotta cook and clean and take care of a kid. So it felt very lonely. You know, and then, you know, your husband's out working. And so when you're both working, you come home, you're kind of at that same, you know, you've run your mind out. You've talked to people, you've like done you come home and you're like zoning in, you know? But when you're a stay-at-home mom, you're waiting all day for that interaction. And then, you know, and so like when you don't get it, you feel like almost like rejected or like, you just feel alone. Like nobody else.
What's your birthday?
My birthday? October 14th.
Oh,
why?
Like, you're speaking my life right now.
Really?
Like, I feel we have a lot of similarities. It's the same. I understand you. Yeah. Stay-at-home mom is it's tough.
It's the hardest thing. Like, I would, in a heartbeat, go back to work. Like, I love my kids. I would ride and die for my kids. But, listen, it's real at home. It's like kids. So that I would say would be I didn't have postpartum, but adjusting to being a stay-at-home mom and learning to love myself. Learning like my kids ended up co-sleeping because my husband traveled a lot. Yeah. So then even my own time in my bed wasn't mine. So it would make me angry, and my husband couldn't understand why I would have like these bursts of anger. Yeah. With him or just with me. Like he's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know," you know. And it was really like I just don't want to be a mom for 5 minutes. Like I don't want to be in my bed with my kid. I just want to watch Netflix without somebody crawling between me. Why is that so hard? And my husband's like, but I love her. She's so cute. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's cute 24/7. Can she just not be cute for like 2 hours in my bed? That was the hardest part. But after that, it's been good.
I totally understand.
I know that like I have friends that are moms that like love being a stay-at-home mom.
Me too.
They love it. And I am currently still a stay-at-home mom. Yeah. Because like really 3 kids in preschool right now is not attainable for us. And you know, like we're in ministry, so part of it is like this is my season. So I've learned to remind myself to enjoy it. Like this is not gonna be forever. This is like so many women out there want to do it and can't, you know? So it really is a blessing, and what I've learned out of it is that my children are really chiseling at me. Like God is using my kids, like not to try to get all spiritual or anything like that, but that's the only way I could explain it.
No, go ahead.
Like God for real is like using my children as my chisel. Like every time that I find the ugly in me that comes out
Mm-hmm.
being a stay-at-home mom is like an area that God shows me I need to work on, you know? So I've taken it more as like, it's not them, there's things in me
Of course.
that have to like, you know, grow, areas in my life I need to grow in, like patience. I'm forever telling my daughters, can you be patient? And then sometimes I think to myself, like, am I being patient? You know, like she's 4, I'm 31, where she's 2. Like, who needs to have more patience? So it's not easy. It's easier to talk about, but yeah, I give it up for the moms who like love it and want to do it, and for the moms that wish they could and are struggling doing both. You know,
of course,
or loving doing both. Because I will do both soon. Just give me 2 more years. My 3rd will definitely be in school by 2.5. How old are you? 2.5. All right. Yeah, we're gonna put you in. We're gonna squeeze you in there. I think we're good.
So, how did the kids like adjust to the
siblings?
Yeah.
They're all girls, and my first, she's such like we always say like, what's your superpower? And she says kindness. She's so, and we've talked about it, because your daughter is so kind, and she really is like such a, like, she wants to love, and she doesn't see the bad in anything, which is so not good sometimes. But so when
she's
her
a kid, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
She's so innocent. Things just go right above her head. And so when the baby was born, Malia, my second, she was like obsessed with her sister. And she's also very independent, so she's good with like leaving the baby. Yeah. Now they're at each other's throat all the time, because the little sister wants to play with her, and she's like, I need to do my me time, you know. And I'm like, love your sister. That's the only person you're gonna have forever. Like, I say the things my mom used to tell me and my brother. Hi, the psycho repeats itself. And then my baby, like the surprise baby, like, you know, I've kind of seen how like they are both much more connected to the baby, because she doesn't interfere with them, but because she's so little. So my 4-year-old, like, she protects her and like has special things with her. She even like has nicknames for her. So it's been nice. I already know by the time they're teenagers, girl, they're gonna get shipped to some long-term mission trip, because that eye roll is gonna start, and those fights with clothes and shoes and stuff, and I'm gonna be like, you need to go to my friends in Africa and get some perspective before we lose our Christianity over here. But they've been good so far.
How did the 3rd one come about? Like,
I was on birth control.
Really?
And okay, so I was on birth control with her, and after my second, I was on birth control for a year. And then I ran out of birth control, but I didn't have insurance. So in order to get your refill, you have to go for another pap smear, and then they refill your prescription. And I didn't have insurance to go to the doctor, so I just didn't go. And I was like, well, I have plenty of friends that do the whole calendar thing. Yeah. And I'm really, 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 really regular. So I was like, I know when I'm ovulating. Like, I could totally do the calendar.
Dun, dun, dun.
But so my husband was like, this is on you, girl. This is on you. He was so supportive. I like cried. I was like, I can't have another baby. It was really, really hard on me to find out I was pregnant again. And he was like, I'm actually excited. I was like, yeah, because you don't got to birth it, breastfeed it, you know, the whole thing. But all in all, after that, I found out that I ovulated on a different day, like on a different week. Like my cycle that month changed. And I ovulated differently, because I had the calculations like, well, this is the time I must have gotten pregnant. Yeah. And they're like, no, you're this week's. I was like, no, that doesn't make any sense. And they're like, well, then you ovulated on a different week. And I was like, oh, could have warned someone. Google could have told me something like that when I'm trying to find out about the calendar. But so I ended up with baby number 3.
Oh my goodness. So like, do you guys want to try for a boy?
No.
Okay.
We're having that conversation right now of like whether he is gonna go get surgery. I could have had the surgery for free. Yeah. And I decided not to, just because I feel like, and as a woman, like we go through so many hormonal changes. And there's I've had things with my thyroid, and then birth control, and then, you know, just being hormonal. Yeah, we're hormonal all the time. Like, when are we not? Yeah, right. And I was like, babe, like, I don't want to have, like, and if I had the vaginal surgery, I was like, if I end up having to have a C-section with the 3rd, go ahead and tie my tubes. You're already there. But I don't want to go, like, have a vaginal delivery, be straight, and then have to go get surgery. You know, it's like a big surgery, and then I have to recover from it and the whole thing. I had a miscarriage, so I had already went through that. And I was like, I just, you know, like, it's easy for you. We just save up the money and you go do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's a guy, so he's like, I don't know if I want to do it. I'm like, you're doing it. So.
When did you have your miscarriage? Is that okay to talk about?
Yeah, it's totally fine. I actually, both my first and my second are rainbow babies. I had 2 miscarriages. So the first time we were trying to get pregnant, I got pregnant, and then I had a miscarriage, but it was really early. I was like 5 weeks pregnant. Okay. It was really, really early. Like, if I wouldn't have been so regular, I probably would have just thought I had my period. I wouldn't have known. Okay. But that was the hardest one for me, because what you feel is like your body's betraying you. Like, I'm not a huge feeler. Like, I don't, like, try to hold on to my feelings because I don't like negative emotion. So I suppress stuff. But that was, like, hard for me, like, that day that as I was having the miscarriage, it almost felt like it's happening in my body, but I can't control it. And, like, anything the doctors would say was like, well, you just have to let it pass, and it's normal. And I'm like, but can you stop it? Like, how do I just stop it from happening? Like, I want this baby, you know? So it's, like, this frustration of, like, if I could hold in a cough, I will. But this is, like, I can't. It's me, but I can't stop it. And, like, why is my body not doing what I want it to do? It's so weird. It's, like, a weird, like, battle within yourself. And you're just, like, angry at your body for it. At least I was. And then, you know, and then everybody's like, it's normal, whatever. And then when you first have a miscarriage, everyone and their mom comes out and talks about their miscarriage. And I was like, why don't we talk about this more often? Then you really know it's normal. Like, you expect it. When you start trying, you're like, well, I might have a miscarriage the first time. I might mistake it for a period. This is your body preparing for pregnancy. Like, if we talk about it more, then it becomes normal. But I didn't realize so many of, like, my circle of people had a miscarriage the first time. And then the second time was a harder one, because the second time I actually had an ectopic pregnancy. So I found out I was pregnant when my husband was in Africa. And I didn't tell anyone because he was in Africa. So I took a video, did this whole cute thing, send it to him, because I couldn't hold it he was going to be gone for 3 weeks. So I couldn't hold it that long. I told him, and then that week, we were talking one day over the phone, and out of nowhere I just had a really sharp pain in my stomach. Like, it was so bad I had to throw up. And then after I threw up, it just went away. So I was like, this is so weird. I was like, babe, like, just pray for me. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, I just had this real pain, and I threw up, and then it's gone. And he's like, well, it's maybe something you ate. I don't know. So I wasn't in pain anymore. And then, like, as the days went by, like, I had some discomfort. I was like, oh, it kind of hurts. But, like, it was weird. I didn't know what it was. Put your finger on it. And then on a weekend, I would spend the day with my mom, and, like, we were out and about, and by the time I got home, I started having that bad pain. I had to throw up again, and my mom saw me. She's like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, I don't know, I have this pain. And I was like, maybe it's because I have to, like, poop or something. And she sent my dad out to go buy laxative, but then she kept looking at me, and she's like, you need to go to the hospital. And I was like, no, like, I don't, what if it's nothing and I just need to poop and I don't have insurance and I'm going to go to the doctor for, like, gas? Like, so the whole insurance thing was really holding me back. And then she's like, you're going to the doctor. And so then I ended up telling her, I was like, well, I'm pregnant. I just haven't said it. And she's like, no, you're really going to the doctor. So we went to the hospital. When I finally got seen, they're like, oh, what's your pain level? I was like, like 6, maybe. When I finally get seen, like 2 hours later, they do an ultrasound, and they're doing an ultrasound, like, all the way up my ribs and all this. I was like, why are you doing an ultrasound all the way up my abdomen? She's like, well, you'll talk to the doctor. When the doctor comes, they, like, rush in. They're like, you need to have emergency surgery. You have an ectopic pregnancy, and your fallopian tube burst, or you're bleeding into your stomach. So you're going to have surgery within, like, the next 20 minutes. And I was like, this is the first surgery I've ever had. First time in the hospital, like, having to go for, like, a specific thing. My husband's in Africa. I'm, like, calling him, but we're, like, 12 hours apart, so he's sleeping while I'm awake. It was a whole big thing. My parents took care of, well, my mom took care of the baby, and my dad stayed with me in the hospital. And then I was so scared that I wasn't going to be able to, like, I didn't know what it was. Like, am I going to be able to have kids again? Like, what does this mean? Like, what if I die today? Like, I don't, that was, like, just scary. I wasn't angry. I was just scared. Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I have a baby now. If I die. But then it came out. I mean, it was really great, easy recovery. I got pregnant right away after. So they're both, like, my rainbow babies. But yeah, I had 2 miscarriages.
Wow, that's tough. Do you find yourself ever thinking about those pregnancies or those babies?
I do believe like life begins like at conception.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's life, you know, that's literally life. So the Bible talks about that children are, you know, heaven belongs to his children, like babies and his kids. So I do believe that maybe like when I go to heaven, like I'll meet the kids I never had, you know, and they're just like up there. That's just like a hope, but I just think that like we don't talk about it enough, and so I feel like there are women that have to deal with it on their own, and they just don't have like people to talk to, or just to like your body's not betraying you.
Yeah,
it just happens. It's not you. It's just part of life.
Yeah.
And God, I lost my right fallopian tube, so I don't have a right fallopian tube, and I found out that because I was scared of having a baby, my doctor was like, no, like you can definitely have pregnant again. It's just that when you ovulate on your right side, you'll have a smaller percentage. I think he said like 15% chance that month to get pregnant, because your egg drops and then it has to travel around to the other fallopian tube to like go in. And when I got pregnant with my second, like seriously, this was like God slapping me in the face. Because I legit was like some unbelief in me, like that this wasn't gonna happen, you know, or whatever. And when we go into the doctor, the lady does the ultrasound, like an early ultrasound.
Yeah.
And she's just like doing her thing. Oh, there's the heartbeat. Oh, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then she's finishing the ultra. She's like, oh, yeah, and you ovulated on your right side. And she's just like, she's talking out loud to write things down. And I was like, no, wait, I couldn't have ovulated on my right side. I don't have a right fallopian tube. And she's like, really? Oh, okay, well, let me recheck. And so apparently every time you ovulate, there's a cyst that's created on that ovary, and that's how they know where you ovulate. And they always routinely look for that when they do your ultrasound when you get pregnant. So she spent like another few minutes looking there. She's like, nope, there it is. There's a cyst. You ovulated on your right side. And I was like, oh my God. God, you're so real. You're right. Like, you're right. You do bring life. Sorry. Yes, thank you. So that was like another like special little like that didn't have to happen, you know, it just did.
Yeah.
So it was nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell me about your life right now with 3 babies. Like what's a day like with you?
Should we really talk about all that? No, I'm just kidding. It's definitely nonstop. And I mean, every parenting style is like super different. My husband and I are very like, we love talking to our kids and like acknowledging their emotion, and it's okay to feel this way, and let's talk it out and use our words and the whole 9 yards. But we're also very like good on discipline, and like just like there's a rhythm to life, and this is what we do, this is what our family does, and these are where the limits are. So it has helped, because my first is like so obedient. So you can tell her, this is what we do. Mommy said, no, don't ask me again, and she won't ask you again. So it helps, like, we're eating, we're doing this, and if I give her like a list of what we're doing, life is good. My second though, let's just say she needs to go to the bathroom a couple times a day just to like really, really understand. No, I'm just kidding. But she's my first kid that I've ever had to like sort of like spank. And, like let her know, like, no, my face when I get like this face, this is serious. I'm done. It means you can't step on that line. And she's just like, oh, what? You know, like, so she disrupts our cycle a little bit, like our routine. But I mean, it's great. Like, so typical day, like we have to get up. My husband works early. Like he leaves the house by 6:30.
Okay.
So he can be back home by like 4.
Okay.
So he can have like girl time, awake time with them.
Yeah.
Because when we were in North Carolina, he was a stay-at-home dad. Like, he worked from home.
Okay.
So they've never known anything but dad working from home. And when we moved down, he had to go to the office. So they were, dad's never home now. And he leaves early and he comes home when it's bedtime.
Yeah.
So that was hard on them. So he did, like, this whole switch so he could do that. So that just means that I get morning routines by myself.
Okay.
Which was an adjustment, because he was always the morning guy, because I'm not a morning person. So it just means like we get up, we have breakfast. As I'm breastfeeding, I'm like, you know, I got a pro at like doing this, you know, and you're like, You're like doing like eggs on the stove and you're breastfeeding at the same time. Someone's like, you're gonna burn your kid. You're like, I got it. It's my life every day. So it's my life every day. It kind of looks like chaotic. I might close the blinds so people don't think I'm crazy. So 2 kids are eating, you know, the 2-year-old's dropping food on the floor that you just mopped and swept before you went to bed. And you're like, oh, patience. Patience. She's 2 and independent. Thank the Lord she's eating and feeding herself. And then like, you know, okay, Manny, like you got to go to school. Like try to get her hair done because I don't want my kid to be like the ratchet girl who doesn't have a bow in her hair and hair kind of done. So my 2-year-old has more than once left the house in PJs and rain boots and her own hairstyle because she's the independent kid who wants to dress herself. And she thinks it's okay to walk out in public like that. And because I will choose my battles, I let her. So I'm the mom that walks in looking all ratchet with a ratchet 2-year-old, a newborn, and a car seat, whatever, and the 4-year-old who looks really presentable to go to school. That's just the morning. Then we do something similar for lunchtime, and then dinner is like all crazy. But they're definitely in bed by 7:30 because then I can't anymore. I'm like, no, bedtime.
7:30 is a good time. I like that time.
Yeah, 7:30. Because then it gives you time, like 6:30 dinner, 7 bath.
Yeah.
7:30 in bed, read a book. Bye. You're not tired. That's okay. Look up. Think about rainbows and butterflies.
Meditate.
Meditate. Whatever you want. What makes you happy? Rainbows. Think about rainbows today, Maddie. Close your eyes. You know. And then that gives like me and my husband sort of like our own time, and like that's really like we like zone in, watch TV, talk about like, how was your day, babe? You know, like you sort of get that time in there.
Well, did you get a haircut? Oh, wow. Okay, good.
Good, that's good.
Looks nice.
Did you shower today, baby? Yeah, I tried. I showered today.
Do you ever at any point or have ever felt like you were not appreciated? And not that they did it intentionally, it's just...
I think we all feel like that. I mean, I shouldn't be putting words in people's mouth, but yeah, I've definitely felt that way. And I think it's, I think it goes like we were talking about it earlier, like I think moms just sacrifice differently. I'm not taking away from the type of sacrifice dads have because it's a whole nother burden that we don't have to carry. But I do feel like I live and breathe and dream and think every minute of my day about my children all the time. Like I know when my husband goes to work, he disconnects. If I'm out with the girls, he disconnects. If he's out with the girls, I'm not disconnected. Like I'm here, but I'm thinking. I was asking, did you have enough bottle? Like, do you have enough milk for the baby? Like, is it gonna be good? How are the girls? Are they sleeping? And not because I don't trust him. It's just I'm just wired like that. So I feel like, because you do so much, and like I feel like we're so young too, that other people, or like, you know, my husband sometimes, or like I should say more like prior kids, like earlier on when we became parents, it was hard to acknowledge like the work that it takes to do that. You know, like I'm over here like I don't have time for myself. Like I don't stop doing my nails. I stopped doing this. Like I don't even have time to do my hair anymore. I look pretty. I gotta do my eyebrows, okay? Like I'm a hairy girl. I gotta take care of stuff. But you're like that or sleep. You know? Like, oh my God. So I think my husband's always been so grateful. I think for men it's just different. Like I know they're grateful, but just saying thank you is enough. Like I don't need praises. I don't need gifts. Just be like, dang babe, you're awesome. That is like, oh, thank you. I just needed that.
Right.
Like, just you're awesome. Like 2 words. Like, and if you're a stay-at-home mom, you need it daily. Just like a daily nugget of love is fine. Or, you know, you could be looking all crazy, and then, you know, your husband looks at you like, babe, you're beautiful. Thank you. And you're like, mascara from like 2 nights ago is like still running down your cheek. Yeah. But I've also gotten better at communicating that. Like telling him what I need, not because I'm needy or whatever, just being honest with how I feel. Like, babe, I feel like this or like that, and like or just if he says that, I'm like, wow, like I really love it when you say that. And so like it kind of like helps teach them my husband to teach him what I like. And vice versa.
So if you had to give a mom some sound advice, what advice would you give?
Oh my God, I should have prepped for this.
Threw you a curveball.
That was a curveball. Oh my god. Do your nails, girl. I'm just kidding. Okay. My biggest advice would be not to lose yourself through your children. Because I grew up, so my mom is the best mom in history. Like, I owe my life and more to my mom. Like, there's no words to describe, like, what an amazing mom and grandma she is. Like, she's just out of this world. But part of her personal dream was to be a mom and be a mom. And so that's all she's been. And it was hard for her to see, like, whenever I wanted to venture out, like, I wanted to go on a mission trip, or I want to do something, you know, leave my kids for a day. Like, to her, that's, like, unthinkable. Like, no, your responsibility is to be a mom. Like, you're that. And then so I've kind of seen, like, in our generation, at least, like, we struggle with the in-between. Like, you're either one extreme, you know, you're, like, completely disconnected from your kids, or you're the other extreme, like our parents' generation, who are, like, you live and breathe children forever. And then they grow up and you have nothing to do. Or you lose your marriage because you focus so much on your kid that you disconnect it from your husband. So another female steps in, you know, and fills that void. And I've seen that a lot. And for me, it's like as the other day I was thinking about it, and I was like, wow, like, I need to be thankful for the time that I have with them, because I don't get them for that long. Like, God lends them to me to raise them, and whether it's 18 or 25 when I left the house to get married, it's really, like, even if it's 25, that's just 25, 20 years, 18 years that I get, and at least, like, 18 years under my roof, my rules. That's nothing. It's like, life is going to fly by, and then they're going to live their life, and what am I going to do? Like, it's me and my husband are first. Like, this is forever. This is like, me and you are going to ride and die forever. So I can't stop dating you. I can't stop, like, paying attention. Like, when we first got married, I was like, I served him his food, or, you know, like, I was special to him, and same way. And I found that when I had kids, it was like, okay, you know, and like, okay, and I gotta, like, oh, go get yourself a grilled cheese. Like, I'm doing this, and that's fine. Like, we're a team. Like, we do things together. But I realized that I want and continue to pour into this, because this is gonna go away. And they're gonna live their life. Like, I'm completely independent from my parents. I don't think about my parents before I think about my life. My kids are gonna do the same thing to me. So I'm like, homegirl's gotta go do some painting, like we did today, and find out what I like. Like, when you ask me, like, what do you like to do? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Where do you want to eat? Like, you just stop. You stop finding things about yourself that you like, or trying new things, and, like, you can't lose yourself to your kids. You just you gotta keep. And I think that raising girls, I want them to see that. Like, you are important, you are strong, like, you have dreams, you are more than a mom, you are more than a wife, you are more than a doctor, you are more than a teacher. Like, you are a whole person who is entitled to live her life and enjoy things and venture out and make mistakes and try new things and change her mind. You go to school to be a doctor and you find out you hate it, change your mind. Like, you have one life. So I want them to see that. Like, I want them to see that I am fully a mom, but I am fully a wife, and I am fully devoted to, like, my own passions. And, like, we just said today, my daughter was having a heart attack because I was leaving, and I was like, baby, grown-ups do what? They come back, mommy. Okay, mommy needs her time. And my husband's like, mommy needs her time. She'll be back tomorrow. And we need them to. I'm not gonna lie to her. Mommy needs to go run an errand. Like, no, mommy needs her time. And that's okay. Daddy and we tell our kids sometimes we're doing stuff, like we're having coffee, and they come and interrupt, and they're little, so it's like, you know, you got to gauge it, but we're slowly teaching them, this is mommy daddy time. You can go play, you can watch TV, these are your options right now. When our coffee's done, we can talk. And so they'll come and they look at our coffee cup and then they walk away. But it's like, they need to know that this is important.
Exactly.
You know? So don't lose yourself to your kids.
Well, I want to thank you so much for being a part of this movement. You truly rock. I see you every morning when you drop off your babies, and you know.
My 2-year-old and your babies.
Listen, if nobody tells you, I just want to tell you, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
So, thank you for coming out.
Thank you for doing this. Like, for real.
Yeah, I'll try.
No, but I think it's awesome. Like, it's what I was talking about with the whole miscarriages thing. Like, there's an unspoken, like, competition between women. And you always, not like you, I'm not that type of person, but I feel it sometimes. Like, there's, like, this wall where, like, you have to, everything's fine.
Yeah.
My marriage is fine. My kids are fine. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like, that vulnerability, it's just really hard to find other women that you can trust and bring into your circle. And I'm like, if we could just be vulnerable together, we could be so much stronger. Like, it's okay for you to break down. I'm not going to judge you and be like, oh, homegirl's losing her marriage.
Yeah.
You know, like, no, like, share your vulnerability. I got mine. Let's be stronger together. And so I love what you're doing because it opens up the conversation for stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, to just be there for one another. Like, you don't have to suck it up and just be a mom and, like, know it and get it and rock it. And be a boss baby.
But I thank you so much, and I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. You're an awesome mom. You too. And we're still doing stuff like this, but not the painting.
No,
Like, it's painful.
Oh my God, I feel like my whole shoulder about to fall off.